Imagine standing in your home, surrounded by things that feel like a weight on your soul, clothes that don't fit, gadgets you don't use, decorations you bought to impress but never truly loved. Your mind is just as cluttered, tangled with self-criticism, the pressure to be perfect, and a quiet ache for a life that feels more authentic. You scroll through social media, bombarded by images of flawless lives, perfect homes, and unattainable ideals, and you wonder if you'll ever measure up. You're not alone. In our modern world, the relentless pursuit of perfection, perfect bodies, perfect careers, perfect possessions, has left so many of us overwhelmed, disconnected, and buried under physical and emotional clutter. But what if the secret to a meaningful, fulfilling life isn't in chasing perfection, but in embracing imperfection? This is the Japanese minimalist way, rooted in the philosophy of Wabi-Sabi, which finds beauty in the flawed, the transient, and the simple. By applying Wabi-Sabi alongside minimalism, danshari, and kaizen, you can declutter your home, quiet your mind, and discover a life that's richer in joy, purpose, and peace. Let's explore how this profound practice can transform your world, helping you find beauty in imperfection and live with intention, starting today. Wabi-Sabi is a Japanese philosophy that celebrates the beauty of imperfection, transience, and simplicity. The term combines wabi, which evokes rustic simplicity and quietude, and sabi, which suggests the beauty that comes with age and wear. Together, they describe a worldview that finds value in what's flawed, fleeting, or incomplete. A cracked teacup, a weathered wooden table, a flower fading in a vase. Rooted in Zen Buddhism and traditional Japanese aesthetics, Wabi-Sabi encourages you to appreciate the natural cycle of growth and decay, to see beauty in the ordinary and the worn. In the context of minimalism, Wabi-Sabi pairs with the practice of owning fewer, more meaningful things, curating your life to reflect what's essential. Danshari, with its principles of refusing, discarding, and separating, helps you let go of possessions and mindsets that don't align with this simplicity. Kaizen, the art of small, continuous improvements, ensures you integrate wabi-sabi sustainably. Ikigai, the pursuit of purpose, aligns your choices with what brings joy, while the art of purposeful empty space, creates room for clarity and reflection. In a culture obsessed with perfection, flawless appearances, curated lives, endless upgrades, Wabi-Sabi is a gentle rebellion asking, what if imperfection is where beauty lives? What if embracing the flawed creates a life of abundance? Let's anchor this in your reality. You're likely no stranger to the pressure to be perfect. Your home might be filled with things you bought to project an ideal image. Trendy decor, fast fashion, gadgets you thought would make you better. Yet these possessions often feel like burdens, cluttering your space and demanding your time and money. Your digital life is cluttered too, with social media feeds showcasing polished lives that spark envy or inadequacy, and an inbox overflowing with demands. Your schedule is packed with work, social obligations, and self-imposed goals to improve yourself, leaving little room for rest or joy. Your mind is the most cluttered space of all, heavy with self-doubt, guilt over perceived failures, and the constant comparison to others' seemingly perfect lives. You might try to fix this chaos with new purchases, organizers, self-help apps, or by chasing achievements, only to find they add to the clutter, leaving you more stressed and disconnected. The result is a life that feels heavy, unfulfilling, and out of sync with who you are. Wabi-Sabi, paired with Japanese minimalism, offers a way out, not by striving for perfection, but by embracing what's real, flawed, and beautiful in your life right now. What does embracing Wabi-Sabi look like in practice? It's a transformative practice that begins with seeing beauty in the imperfect and transient, then curating your life to reflect this simplicity. In your home, it means keeping objects that are flawed but meaningful. A chipped mug from a loved one, a faded quilt with a story, while letting go of items that serve only to impress or conform. Guided by Danshari. You might clear a shelf to hold just a single weathered vase, the empty space around it evoking Ma's calm. In your daily life, it's savoring imperfect moments, a rainy walk, a lopsided homemade cake, finding joy in their transience. In your mind, it's releasing the need to be perfect, embracing your quirks and mistakes as part of your unique beauty, and refusing societal pressures to conform, inspired by Danshari's principle of separation. Wabi-Sabi doesn't ask you to empty your life. It asks you to fill it with what's authentic, using minimalism to keep only what aligns with your purpose, as Ikigai suggests, and Kaizen to make small, sustainable changes. The result is a home that's a sanctuary, a schedule that's spacious, and a heart that's at peace. Finding beauty in the beautifully imperfect. The benefits of this practice are profound, rippling across every aspect of your life. Physically, a curated, minimalist home is easier to maintain, fewer things to clean, organize, or replace, creating a space that feels calm and nurturing. Financially, embracing wabi-sabi saves money. By cherishing what you have and refusing the urge to buy perfect replacements, you reduce expenses, easing financial anxiety and building savings. Mentally, this approach reduces stress and boosts clarity. Studies show that a clutter-free environment and less pressure to be perfect lower cortisol levels, improving focus and emotional resilience. Emotionally, wabi-sabi fosters gratitude and contentment. When you value a worn book or a simple meal for its story, you find joy in the present, not in what you lack. Spiritually, it aligns with Ikigai, helping you focus on what brings purpose, creativity, relationships, rest, without the burden of chasing flawless ideals. Environmentally, living with less and valuing what's worn supports sustainability, reducing waste and honoring the Earth's resources, as Motenai encourages. These benefits weave together, creating a life that's simpler, more intentional, and deeply fulfilling. Contrast this with the habits many of us fall into. The pursuit of perfection drives us to accumulate, clothes to look flawless, gadgets to seem cutting edge, decor to impress others. only to find these things clutter our homes and drain our wallets. You might spend hours scrolling social media, comparing your life to curated ideals, fueling self-doubt and inadequacy. You might overfill your schedule with tasks to better yourself, workouts, side hustles, social events, only to feel exhausted and unfulfilled. Your mind becomes a battleground of guilt over mistakes, pressure to conform, and the constant chase for an unattainable ideal. This cycle of perfectionism, physical, mental, emotional, leaves you feeling trapped, disconnected, and joyless. The irony is that the more you strive for perfection, the less you have of what matters: peace, authenticity, presence. Wabi-Sabi, paired with Japanese minimalism, breaks this cycle by empowering you to embrace what's real, let go of what doesn't serve you, and find beauty in the beautifully imperfect. Let's paint a picture of Wabi-Sabi in your life. Imagine walking into your bedroom where a simple bed, a worn wooden chair, and a single faded painting create a sense of calm, the empty space reflecting Ma's serenity. You keep a chipped mug because it reminds you of cozy mornings, its imperfections cherished, guided by Wabi-Sabi. Your wardrobe is small, with versatile, slightly worn pieces you love, curated through Danshari, freeing you from the stress of trend chasing. Your schedule has gaps for rest or creativity, as you've refused low-value commitments, aligning with your ikigai, a quiet evening painting, a walk with a friend. Your phone is free of distracting apps, and your social media feed includes only voices that uplift, reflecting a curated digital life. Each day, you make one small Kaizen tweak, tidying a drawer, savoring a flawed moment, like a lopsided pancake that makes you laugh. When self-doubt arises, you embrace your quirks, refusing perfectionism and finding beauty in your unique story. Your home is a haven, your mind is clear, and your heart is full as you live with the joy of imperfection. To bring Wabi-Sabi into your life, start with these practical steps rooted in Japanese wisdom. First, curate one space in your home, like a shelf. Clear it completely, then add back one or two imperfect items: a cracked vase, a faded book, that hold meaning, creating Ma's empty space and embracing Wabi-Sabi's beauty. Second, practice Danshari by decluttering one area, like your wardrobe. Refuse items that don't reflect your current self. Discard those that are unused, and separate emotionally from pieces tied to guilt or societal pressure, donating them with thanks. Third, savor one imperfect moment today: a rainy walk, a homemade meal that's not Instagram worthy, and reflect on its beauty, writing it down to deepen gratitude. Fourth, refuse perfectionism in one area of your life, inspired by Danshari. If you're hard on yourself about work, affirm, "My effort is enough," embracing your flaws as part of your growth. Fifth, use Kaizen to make small, daily improvements. Spend 5 minutes tidying, or pause to appreciate one flawed object, building habits sustainably. Sixth, align one daily choice with Ikigai by prioritizing something that brings purpose, like 15 minutes of writing or a call to a loved one, refusing distractions that don't serve you. Seventh, curate your digital life by deleting one unused app, unsubscribing from 5 newsletters, and unfollowing accounts that spark comparison, creating a simpler, more meaningful online space guided by minimalism. Eighth, practice gratitude daily, inspired by Wabi-Sabi. Each evening, note 3 imperfect things you're thankful for: a scratched table, a quiet moment, a friend's quirky laugh, shifting your focus to abundance. Ninth, create a Wabi-Sabi ritual weekly. Set aside 10 minutes to reflect on one imperfect aspect of your life, a mistake, a worn item, and journal about its beauty, reinforcing the practice of letting go and embracing what is. These steps, intentional and accessible, help you integrate Wabi-Sabi, creating a clutter-free, meaningful life. Challenges will arise, and that's okay. You might feel attached to possessions, worried that letting go means losing memories or status. Start with low-stakes items, old papers, unused clothes, and build confidence, using Dapodanshari's framework to separate emotionally. Social pressure to keep up with perfect lifestyles can be strong. Remind yourself that Wabi-Sabi is about your joy, not others' expectations, and curate your social media to reflect simplicity, not excess. Financial constraints might make curating your life feel daunting, as you may feel compelled to buy better things. Focus on free wins, cherishing what you own, enjoying nature, borrowing from libraries, aligned with Motenai's respect for resources. Time scarcity can make these habits feel overwhelming. Use Kaizen's micro actions, 1 minute of tidying, one grateful thought, to fit them into busy days. If self-criticism persists, pair Wabi-Sabi with mindfulness, like a deep breath before affirming your worth. Be patient. Embracing imperfection is a journey, and every intentional choice is a step toward a richer life. Wabi-Sabi weaves beautifully with other Japanese philosophies. Minimalism fosters simplicity, helping you own fewer, more meaningful things, reducing physical and mental clutter. Danshari empowers you to let go of perfectionism and excess, freeing your home and mind. Motenai encourages respect for what you have, reducing waste and aligning with sustainability. Ikigai aligns your choices with purpose, prioritizing what brings joy. Kaizen ensures lasting change through small, consistent actions. Ma creates space in your home and mind for clarity and reflection. Together, they create a holistic approach to living, one that values simplicity, presence, and meaning over perfection or excess. Let's deepen this with more practices. Try a Wabi-Sabi walk. For 1 week, take a 10-minute walk daily, noticing imperfect beauty, a gnarled tree, a cracked sidewalk, and reflect on its value, fostering gratitude. Another practice is a beauty journal. Each evening, write down one imperfect thing you encountered, a worn book, a rainy day, and why it's beautiful, reinforcing Wabi-Sabi's mindset. To cultivate Danshari, do a mindset audit. List 5 beliefs you hold about success, appearance, or worth, and refuse one that fuels perfectionism, like, I must always look polished, replacing it with, my flaws are my story. For Kaizen, set a daily imperfection minute to appreciate one flawed object or moment, building gratitude effortlessly. For Ikigai, Create a purpose list of 5 things that bring joy and commit to one daily, like sketching or calling a friend, prioritizing meaning over perfection. For Ma, create a calm corner in your home, a bare nook with a cushion for reflection, enhancing clarity. These exercises, flexible and personal, make Wabi-Sabi a sustainable part of your life. Let's also explore how Wabi-Sabi transforms your relationships. The pressure to be perfect can strain connections, making you critical or distant. By embracing imperfection, you create space for authenticity. Imagine sharing a lopsided homemade dessert with a friend, laughing over its flaws, the simplicity fostering intimacy, thanks to Ma. Or accepting a loved one's quirks, guided by Wabi-Sabi, deepening trust and love. Refusing societal expectations, inspired by Danshari, lets you choose relationships that uplift you. Gratitude, rooted in Wabi-Sabi, helps you cherish imperfect moments with others. A rushed coffee date, a heartfelt but clumsy apology. Finding beauty in their realness. By living with Wabi-Sabi, you make space for vulnerability, connection, and joy, enriching your relationships. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Yuki, a 34-year-old graphic designer overwhelmed by perfectionism. Her apartment was cluttered with trendy decor and fast fashion, bought to project an ideal image, but it felt chaotic. Her mind was heavy with self-doubt, comparing her work and life to social media's polished lives. One day, a friend shared a book on Japanese minimalism, introducing Yuki to Wabi-Sabi and Danshari. She started small, curating her desk to hold a chipped mug and a worn sketchbook, their imperfections sparking calm, inspired by Wabi-Sabi. She practiced Danshari, refusing trendy purchases, discarding unused decor, and separating from the pressure to be flawless, donating items with thanks. She embraced Ma, clearing a shelf for a single, faded vase, and used Kaizen, tidying 5 minutes daily. She savored imperfect moments, a rainy walk, a lopsided painting, journaling their beauty. She aligned her evenings with Ikigai, reserving time for drawing, her true passion. Daily, she practiced gratitude, noting 3 imperfect things: a scratched table, a friend's laugh, a quiet evening, that filled her heart. Over months, Yuki's home became a sanctuary, her mind clear, her relationships richer. Wabi-Sabi didn't erase her flaws, but it transformed her life, making it beautifully imperfect and joyful. As you embrace Wabi-Sabi, envision the life you're crafting, a home where every object tells a story, where empty spaces invite peace, a schedule with room for rest, creativity, and connection, a heart free of perfectionism, alive with gratitude and joy. Wabi-Sabi isn't about erasing flaws, it's about celebrating them, curating a life that's authentic and meaningful. It's a rebellion against the chaos of perfectionism, a reclaiming of your space, your time, your soul. You don't need a perfect home, a perfect life, or a perfect you. You need only to embrace imperfection and let beauty bloom. So, begin today. Right now, choose one imperfect thing, a worn item, a flawed moment, and find its beauty, perhaps by writing it down. Carry this question forward. What imperfection can I embrace to live more fully? Ask it when you tidy, reflect, or connect. Trust that each intentional choice is a step toward a clutter-free life, a brick in the foundation of a simpler, more meaningful existence. You're not just decluttering, you're crafting a life of peace, purpose, and joy. Welcome to the art of Wabi-Sabi, of Wabi-Sabi, of Wabi-Sabi, of Wabi